Hi everyone. I'm just finished packing up for our trip and I'm doing my laundry because we're leaving tomorrow for Drumheller. But I've got everything all done, so I thought I'd take a quick minute and show you guys how I made the cutest card for my daughter. We went to see Wicked the other night and it was fantastic. It was like one of those things from my bucket list that I really wanted to see. And it didn't disappoint. The singers were outstanding. It was just such a wonderful evening. So we had been wanting to go for years and years and years and years and years. So when I got this set of the graphic 45, The Magic of Oz from Roxy Fur here on YouTube, I knew right away that I was going to use this to make a card. So I used, some of the papers in here are just so pretty, 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 pretty. So what I used was these ones here. I used that square there that says Wicked. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that out right now. I'm here at Wicked with my daughter Deanne and it's halftime. And it's so good. I love it, love it, love it, love it. So excited, like a little kid. And I wore greens to my nails and my shoes, and my shoes. And I want to share it with you, this really pretty card that I made for my daughter. It says, Wicked, yay! And we are just having so much fun. Okay, before I start assembling my card, I just want to show you the elements of the card. So I've got my 5.5-inch square card here. It's going to open this way. And then I took some really pretty purple or lavender cardstock. I cut that 1/4 inch smaller, so that's 5.25 inch square. And then this really limey green, I cut that 5-inch square, so it creates a little mat around it all. And then this one, I've left a large mat all the way around it, and I'll show you why in a minute. So for the inside, to write my sentiment, it is the reverse. This one is 3.5 by 4.5, and this one is 3.25 by 4.25, and then I'll just adhere that down there, and then I can write my sentiment on the inside. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the actual card and my distress tool and just give it a rough distress edge all around. So I went ahead and distressed not only the card, but the purple piece and the green piece. I wasn't originally going to do the green one, but I did all three. And the next thing I'm going to do, because Wicked is a musical, I'm taking the Tim Holtz embossing folder of the musical notes here, and I'm going to emboss the green top sheet. And I'm going to just fit it in right at the top and try to space it so that there'll be a little bit of a margin on either side, because this doesn't fit exactly because this square is a little bit bigger, but that's okay. And then just run it through my big shot here. So the next thing I'm going to do is take my Ranger Tim Holtz Black Distress Ink Black Soot, and I'm just going to lightly run it over so that some of the music notes just pop out a little bit on the back of the page, especially along the sides, because that's the part that's going to show. And then, of course, along the edges of this where I distressed it. And then I'm going to take like a darning needle or something like that and try to curl up a couple of the corners. Kind of a little bit like that. And maybe this bottom one before I glue it down to the purple piece. And then I'll make sure that I distress both sides of the curled edge. I just love the way that looks. So I'll go on to distress the purple one too. And then also do this to those inside pieces where you're going to write your sentiment. Do the exact same thing. Okay, I trimmed my little section out of my graphic 45 paper, and I just left a tiny, tiny bit of that black edging around. And then what I'm going to do is use a tool that I haven't used in a long, long time, and that's my Versa marker. And it has a brush end and a really fine tip on one end. I'm going to take the brush end And I want to emboss some silver on this card front just to give a little pop. So I'm going to go ahead and wherever there is the yellow of the socks here, I'm just going to apply a little bit of this Versamark. And the beauty of Versamark is it doesn't dry immediately, so you have a little bit of play time. And take my silver embossing powder. Just going to go ahead and apply that over onto the socks there. There. And then I'm going to do the same thing around where it says Wicked, including this scrolly line there. So I hope the camera can pick up that embossing. I think it can. One of the beauties of these embossing Versamarkers is if you're using a Versamark ink pad with a stamp and you stamp it down and it doesn't get exactly the right amount where you want it to, you can always go in and touch it up with this and just in the areas, and then add your embossing powder again, and then yeah, you should have success. So I'm going to adhere this square to the green with my ATG gun, and then I'm going to use foam dots to apply the green to the purple. So for all intents and purposes, my card is pretty much done. But when I made the one for my daughter, I wanted to just take it up a little notch because we were so excited. So I have these Making Memories shimmer jigsaw swash pieces, I think they're called. And so on the one I made for my daughter, I put the word yay, like hooray, yay. And so I didn't have any more Y's. So on this one, I'm just going to add wow. So I'm just going to glue that on with my glue gun. So there we have our finished card, and I just love, love, love how those shimmery letters pop on the bottom. Don't ever be afraid of layering things on top of things, because you can still see the witch's socks there behind the letters, and the witch, and the words. And the layering is what makes all of your scrapbook layouts and cards and even your art journaling, it just adds so much extra interest. You can see the music notes peeking behind and the distressed edging. And I just love how this card turned out. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a card for musical theater. I think saying Wicked and Wow would be a great congratulations card for a young person or for anyone. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope the rest of your weekend is wicked. Bye.
That also makes sense.
Oh, so this was beyond fan-freaking-tastic. Okay, I love every minute of it, every second. How about you, Dee?
It was so good, and the Wizard of Oz totally makes sense now.
Yes.
So good. So good.
And we kind of don't like Dorothy.
Yeah, she's kind of a biatch.
Kind of.